Up next, U.S. Banks Float featuring the Great Wall Youth Orchestra, making its debut in the Chinese New Year Parade. I talked to the orchestra's music director and some of its young musicians. I'm with Laney College music professor Victor Su, who recently took over as the music director of the Great Wall Youth Orchestra from his mom, Sherlyn Chu, who founded it. Victor, tell us about the orchestra.
Well, the beginning, it started like it was just a typical music program at a public school for elementary, and that's where my mom taught in Lincoln Elementary in Oakland, Chinatown. And as she noticed that the kids were getting better and better eventually, and she realized that she just couldn't be at all these different places at once. And so she formed a Saturday program for all the alumni from that elementary school to come and practice together, because she was already adjunct faculty at this college.
Now, your mom loves classical and Chinese opera music, and so her students would play some of that. Yours seems to be more contemporary. You range from those classical pieces all the way to Bruno Mars and Katy Perry. How did that happen?
I'm a pop music fanatic. And I remember an old teacher that I had, like, if you don't teach your students something that you're passionate about, you're really doing a disservice to the students. And also, it's just, you know, people always have this image that Chinese instruments are ancient and they're old and you know, that it's from the past, and it's not. So in order for me to have students identify that this is their music and take ownership of it, they have to be able to relate to it. I don't want them to think that Chinese music is what their parents only what their parents listen to, or only what their grandparents listen to.
Now, not all the students are Chinese. It's not limited to Chinese, is it?
No, everyone's welcome to join our program. We welcome all ages, all ethnicities.
Do these students come with a range of zero experience to actually having learned an instrument in school? And if so, how do they then get matched to a dulcimer or a Chinese flute or a Chinese violin?
The majority have no experience on Chinese instruments. They probably will take a band program at their middle school or high school. They might have like some private lessons on piano or something, but for Chinese instruments, I think the majority, we are their first experience.
My name is Christine and I play the erhu. A simpler way to think of it is kind of like a violin, but instead it's 2 strings, and you don't put it on like in between your neck and your shoulder. It kind of like rests on your thighs. Have you ever been to like Chinatown and you've seen like those old people, like those old men on the side of the street playing like a tune or something? That's what I play.
And what are you learning, or what do you hope to learn from being in this class and in the youth orchestra?
I hope to learn about just more about like the Chinese culture. Coming from, you know, being an immigrant myself, I think it's really beneficial to learn about the Chinese culture through this way, and it allows me to connect to my culture.
How's that going to be for you to be in the Chinese New Year Parade?
I'm pretty excited. I've never been on the float before, so that will be something new. That I've seen it on TV and stuff, so this would be a new experience for me.
What's it been like to prepare your students for the first ever appearance by the Great Wall Youth Orchestra in a Chinese New Year Parade?
It's been pretty exciting.
Congratulations, Victor, on your work and on the Great Wall Youth Orchestra, and for being in the Chinese New Year Parade for the first time ever.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back with more of the Alaska Airlines Chinese New Year Parade.